evening. It's Sharonda with the Red Couch Conversation. And as you can tell, I have the Dr. Carol Montague Davis. Welcome.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you for coming out this evening. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here. And anytime I get an opportunity to just talk about education and be with such a great person here, learning so much from your conversations that you've had with other people and just your passion and your dream to spread the information in the word, because we lack about knowledge, we perish.
That's right.
And so when you're sharing all of these different things with us, it's just so great. And your guests are so different,
Oh, well, thank you.
Different things about you. It's wonderful.
Well, thank you. It was a desire of my heart, and one of my good friends said, "Sharonda, you need to just have the Red Couch Conversations," and it kind of went from there. So, I appreciate it. I love you.
I love you too.
Oh,
I was a little jealous though. I was wondering how Connie got here before I did.
What?
So since that's out of the way, we can move.
Okay, we can move forward. All right, Connie, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get that later.
So just want to let you know, these conversations we're having, we continue to talk about things that everybody want to talk about. And this Red Couch has just been flowing with different conversations. And this is one that is very dear to me. As a parent of a child that's in public school, I had some questions. As you notice, I don't have my cards. We're just going to flow, okay?
Okay.
I didn't prepare any cards. I just want to talk about it because this is a wealth of knowledge right here in living form, and I'm about to tap into it, okay? So you are retired.
Yes, I am. After 40 years.
Okay.
I started in 1982.
Wow.
I don't want anybody out there calculating my age, but I started. Okay. I started in 1982. I graduated from Elizabeth City State, and there I was recruited by, believe it or not, by IBM.
Okay.
Because I was a math and computer science major.
Okay.
And then I was recruited by this county in Maryland, St. Mary's, to be a math teacher. So I chose the route of education, of teaching, because it was something that, listen to my family, I was a teacher ever since I was 7 years old, they say, but I don't believe that. But it's just the idea. So I've been doing that, and I was math teacher for 9 years. Then I became an assistant principal in Maryland. And from 2 years as an assistant principal, I became a middle school principal.
Okay.
And I was a middle school principal for about 10 years in Maryland, and I relocated back home.
Okay.
My mom had died the year before I came back, and my dad was sick.
Okay.
And Connie had taken care of her children, and Kizzy and them had taken care of my mom and was taking care of my dad. And I wasn't married and having connections, so I decided to relocate back.
Come on back home.
Come on back home. Best decision I ever made, because I became the principal of the high school here in Warren County. And it was so nice to come back home and to have students that was my friends, my friends' children
right
in the school and being educated. And Warren County is just such a great place
for
education.
It really is
such a great place.
It really is.
I always call it the gym here. You got doctors coming out of here. You got lawyers coming out of here. You got teachers coming out of here.
Social workers.
So I was going to say social workers. Social workers coming out of here. You just got nothing but the cream of the crop.
Right.
It's no different. It's just how you apply yourself.
Exactly.
And what do you want for yourself?
Exactly. So you know how we always pull it apart. We take it one conversation at a time. You said a mouthful. I've always said that if there was an opportunity for the doors to open to have all of the alumni come back, whether you're in a entrepreneur career or your trade or you're went on to college, whatever it is, we definitely create a lot of great people out here. And so you hinted on that you was the principal of the high school, but I remember you were in a dual role.
Yeah, I did that for 1 year.
Okay.
I did the middle school and the high school for 1 year. And I thought it was a great thing, because you're really touching our kids, and you could see how the flow of the organization and the structure seamless instructional strategies that you set in place, seamless objectives and outcomes that you want.
Right.
And then you building on it in the middle school. So when they get to the high school, they're strong or where you need to be.
Exactly.
And so sometimes we miss the gap of how those two things have to really bridge together.
Okay.
Because there has to be conversation
with
the middle school principal and the high school principal, and they need to sit at the table and talk about what are the skills that a middle school student really needs before they get to high school.
Correct.
And that's where, and I know we have the state test,
Correct.
and they think that the state tests are the skills, but a state test does not teach soft skills.
No.
A state test teaches academic.
Correct.
Where you, and then sometimes it's not a complete look of where academic is.
That's right.
Because some of our kids are not good test takers.
Exactly.
Some of our kids are very bright, but that's just something that tightens them up when it comes to testing.
Exactly.
But
anxiety
and things like that. You have test anxiety. You have
right.
a lot of people that are successful that have test anxiety.
Yeah. So I know that you did that dual role, and I thought it was successful because when you were there, I actually had a child that was at the middle school, and you were at the high school level. So it was actually in a time where I can connect with them. And I thought that was a great idea. Now, what I want to go to next is that at some point you went on to other things, but you kept Warren County close. Mm-hmm. I noticed that no matter where you went to next, you didn't leave the county. Mm-mm. You stayed. And let me just add, this is a Warren County alumni. Notice I didn't say Warren County High alumni, but a Warren County Schools alumni. So we produce great people, great leaders. And so I just want to acknowledge that because we all have the potential to go on and be great. You know, that rural Warren County, the things that they would say about us. Well, look at all of the influences we have in the country. And so I just want to acknowledge that Warren County Schools, you did a great job. So when you left Warren County, you went on to different adventures and mm-hmm. different avenues and work in a different school system, but you didn't stop. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know that you went down to Winston-Salem and mm-hmm. gave some of that talent down to Forsyth County. How was that?
When I went to Winston-Salem, I went to a high school, Carver High School.
Okay.
It was predominantly African-American, just like Warren County.
Yeah.
So I just fit right on in
there. Okay.
Only thing that was different, though, it was inner city school.
Okay.
And an inner city school is totally different than a rural school.
It is.
An inner city school, kids have other things to do.
Right.
Instead of coming to school.
Correct.
When you got the bus stop across the street, I can just skip the class and going across the street, use the bus stop. You know, you don't know. Everybody's not a community net because Winston-Salem is a county of choice, which means you can choose the school that you can attend there. And a county of choice like that, sometimes you don't know your families like you need to know them because they're not in your community.
Well, in Warren County, you know there's mama, grandma, what church you went to, what road you live on, everything.
I used to say to my girlfriends when I left Maryland, I said, I'm talking to one of my students when we'd be on the phone. She said, well, how you know it's your student? I said, I'm the only principal in town. I said, so every high school kid here, they're mine.
They're yours.
They are mine kids. Yeah. And that's where you get to know them.
Right.
And I also saw that Warren County, they value education.
Yes.
When I was here, the parents valued education. They valued it. They wanted more for their kids than was for them.
Yeah.
They wanted high expectations for them.
Yes.
They would get them to those tutoring programs when they needed extra help.
Exactly.
And also what I liked about it was that it just didn't concentrate on the college bound. We had some dynamic carpentry programs.
Yes, auto mechanics
brick masonry program. I think about Clarence Jones.
Yes.
One of the best you could have.
Yes.
You know, with bricklaying there, you know. I think about Mr. Parham. He was the auto mechanic person.
Yes.
I think about Miss Tom Trailer.
Yes.
He was the agriculture teacher.
Yes.
There were so many great things that was done right there for kids to find their niche. If I want college bound, but you had even kids that was college bound in those classes. I think about Miss George, Dr. George, with her Outline Health program, you know?
Yes, so many nurses today are nurses because of that program.
Because of that program. Yes. And I think about the culinary arts program is there, you know?
I think I learned to cook measuring stuff and learn how to thread a needle, you know, Miss Jones. And, you know, just learning those things. And I had VJ here a while back earlier this year, and I said, marketing, But I was with Miss Hunt.
Miss
I
Hunt,
learned it right out of her
now Miss
class.
Hunt was one of my assistant principals, so she
Yes.
had left from marketing at that time,
Exactly.
So it was just such a strong, it was a strong connection.
It really was.
To me, for education to really work anywhere, there has to be a partnership
Yes.
between the community, the school, and the parents. It has to be a three-way communication.
So let me just tell you. So I have adult children, and then I was blessed to have a younger child.
Mhm.
So I have a child that's now back in Warren County schools. He's at the middle school level. And so when I came here, I wanted to find out, how can I join the PTA? Because that's what I was used to in Wake County. And so unbeknownst to me, the PTA wasn't established. So me being who I am, I'm thinking, oh, let me start this PTA. Let me get in. Let me jump in. So I was faced with some challenges with that section because parent involvement is at a deficit right now.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to parents to help them get involved? Because I need to link them in.
Right. I kind of think you have to find, first thing I want to say, just because a parent does not attend events,
okay,
just because a parent is not as involved as we think,
okay,
it doesn't mean that parent doesn't care.
That is, you hear that?
It does not mean that parent does not care.
Correct.
It means that parent might have a situation that they cannot
transportation,
get
work,
child care,
other things.
You never know.
That's right.
So you have to kind of you gotta figure out what connects.
Correct.
When you figure out what connects you to something, you become what?
Yes,
committed to it.
A part of it.
Own it.
That's right.
You own it. And just to give you an example, when I got here to Warren County, there was no PTSA.
Yes.
But I found a parent like you.
Right.
Miss Thompson. Never forget. Lindsay's mom.
Yes.
I begged them to come in and start a PTSA.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's right.
But the school has to be open and welcome for parents to be there.
Right.
That's the first step.
Okay.
Don't find it that you're coming in to spy on me,
right,
or to talk about what's not being done.
Exactly. It's a partnership.
So it's a partnership.
And it's a partnership.
One
of the things that I do, and I did this for my older children as well, was the first, I always tell my children to go to school, because in that first week, I'm going to introduce myself to your teachers, and I'm going to partner with them. I send a standard email, hey, this is who I am, this is my child, I want to partner with you. And I do that consistently through the year. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to model that for other parents, to let them know that, like she said, just because you're not at such an activity or an event or whatever doesn't mean that you don't care. But you got to figure out a way to connect. Whether it's an email, whether it's on Power School, whether it's calling that school, reaching out to the guidance counselor, whatever it is, to connect. Because once we have that partnership established, I believe we can start seeing things happen. Would you not agree?
I agree with you, but they have to have that partnership with their child too.
You do. Oh,
okay. You cannot have a partnership with the teacher, and you're not talking to your child about what went on in school today.
Exactly.
So you have to find time to ask just that simple question: how was school today?
How was school today? You know what? When COVID hit and we saw children go home and with their parents every day and have to get online and do different things, I think the parents realized, wait, my child might be doing some of this stuff the teachers were saying, because you're with the child every day. And so I agree with you. You have to know your child. You got to understand. You got to ask a question, having that communication. Hey, listen, we're going to talk about effective communication. You're going to hear us say that over and over again. Have a conversation with your child. Don't wait till the report cards come out. Get on Power School. Know in real time. If you don't see grades in, email that teacher, because there's a link. All you got to do is hit the teacher's name. The email will come up, link to your email, send them a message. It is seamless. Talk to your child, because the child is a key component of the communication. And I want to just touch on a little bit about we're seeing a lot of educators leave the field. What would you say to those teachers to keep them to stay with us?
Well, I believe teaching is a calling.
Yes.
And sometimes I think people use it as just in between.
Right.
And I just believe that when you know teaching is your calling, it's rough.
Yes.
It's different. It's
It is.
different than it was when I started.
Yes.
But you have to have the passion to want to help.
Yes.
A teacher's a servant.
Yes.
You are a servant leader, and your job is to serve the kids.
Correct.
Is to educate them.
Mm.
And so you have to know that that's your passion. Teaching is a passion. It's a calling to me.
Yeah.
It's
40
a
years
calling.
in, yes.
It's a calling. I knew that that's my calling. I love to see
She was
people
7 when she
learn.
started, y'all.
Yeah, that's right, 7. I was one of those genius children. But you have to have a calling for that. But
Yes.
you get some on the other side that comes in as teaching as a second career, and they do a great job with it.
Right.
Because you like teaching. An example with your show here, with the things that you do with your events, you're teaching someone.
Right.
You love that, right?
I love that.
When they catch it, you feel so good.
Oh, yes.
It's like warms your heart.
Yes.
So you got to know that if you are in education, you're not going to get that gratification really quick.
Yes.
It comes later.
Yes.
Like today, I was in Raleigh, and it was a parent in there that had brought his kid in the place that we were.
Okay.
And he said, "Won't you, my principal?" And here in Warren County.
Right.
And so you know that he remembers
the
the impact that was made.
Yes.
Impact. It's just like you going to the doctor, and that doctor really helped you through your illness that you have.
Exactly.
And then you go back, and that doctor made a big impact in your life. Education is the same way. You have to know that I am impacting the future.
Yeah.
And if as a teacher, if I'm not impacting the future and I'm just making it hard for them, then I am not passionate about what I do. Suppose the doctor goes in there one day and says, I'm upset with you because you didn't lose the 2 pounds I told you to lose. So now I'm wiping my hands off of you.
Exactly.
And he's your doctor that's been your doctor since the beginning of your situation.
Yes.
How would you feel? So that's like a kid.
She brought it right on home. She brought that right on home. Let me tell y'all something. If that didn't hit home, I don't know what's gonna hit home. That's a great way to make that connection.
Make that connection, because if a kid just has a bad day,
yes,
and might have slipped to say something, right? So are you going to tell that kid, I'm washing my hands? I don't care what you make in this class.
Exactly.
Then you are not there for the purpose. You got to find in education. I'm gonna say in anything you do, you have to find your why.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
You need to sit down, reflect, and say why. That would be the advice that I give to all educators now.
No matter what phase
you're in education. I tell principals I coach. I tell teachers that, that still teach in the county and they have some issues. Right. Find your why. If you go back and you research and think about and reflect on your why, and that why is clear to you, you are in the right place.
See.
If that why is clear to you, whatever you're doing, find your why and your passion.
Wow. So listen, educators, don't give up.
Don't give up.
Search for your why, your purpose. What is making this meaningful for you? Why are you showing up every day? Listen, you hear this from the guru. This lady right here sits on, she does coaching for principals. She does mentor teachers, a parent advocate. And I trust the words that come out of your mouth, because we've been in this thing for a long time. And I just want to say that our educators are the keys to the future. And I wish the Congress would understand it and give them the money that they deserve. So that's my bid for that. When y'all make your selection for who you're going to vote for, take that to the polls. Let's make sure we get in there, because teachers need more money. I also want to say that in rural Warren County, and I want to say it just like that, we can't think for a moment that we're not able, we're not capable, because like Dr. Monica Davis said earlier, we've turned out doctors and teachers and principals,
and
still doing it every day. Oh my gosh. Hey, master level social worker here. And I'm proud of that. I carry it on my back.
That's right.
And I'm very proud of that. I look at members in, auto mechanics. I want to trust where my car is going to be serviced from. That person went to Warren County High and gathered those tools and so forth. And so with that, I know that we can continue to be entrepreneurs. We can be pioneers. We can be trailblazers, and we can continue. When you tell somebody you're from Warren County, they know you come from good stock. Warren County schools, I believe this is a transitional period for us. I'm here. I came back home with the understanding that my child will be enrolled in Warren County Public Schools. Yes, people told me, hey, do the charter school. Yes, do some of these academies, do this stuff. But I said, I'm a product of public school. And I wanted that for my son, who's a seventh grader. And with that, I just cannot move away from that basic education. So, what strategies would you give parents if they don't know how to get involved in their child's school?
First, I want to say one thing. You ask about teachers and finding your passion and all. I would always find and say, there is not one profession in this world that a teacher hasn't touched.
Not a one.
Not one.
Not a one.
A mechanic, there's a teacher teaching them how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
A doctor, there's a teacher teaching that doctor how to become a doctor.
Yes, you learn to read from your teacher.
You learn to
right.
read, so what I'm saying is that teachers who are struggling whether to stay, my answer is please stay.
Please.
Because without you, where will our future be? Oh. I just told you that there is not one profession
exactly
that a teacher doesn't touch.
Exactly.
So stay in there.
That grassroots.
Because we need you.
Yes.
We need you. But we need you to have a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset.
Exactly.
That fixed mindset is saying to you that I can't do anything to help this child. That growth mindset is saying, I'm going to take you from where you are and I'm going to make you better.
That's that layers.
That's that layer.
Leveling it up.
Leveling it up. Leveling it up. What I say, parents, is I said, find your niche. I said, first place I'll tell you to start, parents, having the conversation with your child.
Yes.
The second place I'll say, make sure you're hooked into Power School.
Make sure.
Don't let your child tell you something that you be surprised. How'd you get an F? You could have been looking the whole time on Power School. You could have been
looking the whole time.
And checking it out.
If you can check Facebook, you can check Power School.
That's exactly right. So do it together. Just check Power School first and then go to Facebook.
Exactly.
Because Facebook is not going to tell you how he's doing in school. It might tell you if he has some little issue, they did a great job or something in that way. But that Power School would tell you the facts about it.
Yes.
So find out where you're connecting. If I know you all care, because if you didn't care, it'd be another issue. So we know you care. Find a way that you can connect. It doesn't have to be going to the building. It doesn't have to be spending some time at your child's school. But you can show up every now and then to a meeting. So just think about it and say, my goal this year for the rest of the year, if they have one parent thing, I'm going to show up to it.
Right.
If it's nothing but the concert, if it's nothing but a game, an athletic game that they have, just make goals for yourself and say, I'm going to try one this year. Man, and you might like it, because most of the time parents don't go because they don't know what to say and what to expect. So that's half of the issue.
Right.
Or I live on my experiences as a parent.
That's true.
I did not have a good relationship in school. My schooling was kind of like not the best in the world. So therefore, I'm scared to go back. I don't know what to say, what to do. So you got to think about those. You probably were an excellent student in school. You were in everything. So you feel comfortable going into the schoolhouse.
Yes.
You see the difference?
That's
so
true.
Take small steps with the people. And if you don't know where to start, if you're in the middle school, here we have.
That's right.
You can call your president of the PTSA and figure out how to go. And I would suggest that y'all make a bond and try to start PT if it's not already one there. At the high school.
Yes.
Find one parent there that's willing.
Yes.
And have joint meetings.
Right. So we actually do. I'm in partnership with Roberta Freeman at the high school, and we're working together. And here's the thing. It takes the parents to do the footwork, but as a parent liaison or a parent advocate, I want you to know you can call me. You can reach out to me on social media. Reach out to me on my personal line, 919-805-8309. If you just want to say, hey, this is what's going on with my student, I want to navigate through this, I don't mind helping out, stepping in the gap. But I do want to go back to this, because being that your journey, 40 years into this, I know you saw some of those parents say, hey, I don't know how to talk to the child's teacher. I just don't know. So would you encourage a parent advocate for something like that?
I would, because sometimes you might not have the skills.
Right.
And you, not that you lack the skills, you don't know them yet. You haven't developed them
Haven't
yet.
tapped
And
into it.
tapped into it.
Mhm.
So get someone who can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I advocate for that. I
Good. Good.
advocate for
Okay.
that 100% because you got to fight for your child because nobody else will.
Right.
You
Right.
have to. And if you don't have, if you're not equipped to do that, then find someone who can help you.
That's right.
And you tell them, I'm going to put something back on you, what I want you to do for me.
Okay.
I want you to have a parent, not a PTSD meeting, nothing. Just a meeting to say,
Yeah.
need help to figure out how to get engaged.
Okay.
That's all I want you to do.
I will.
No agenda, no nothing.
Okay.
You bring the parents in who agree
Okay.
to come,
Okay.
okay, and bring them in and let them talk about.
Okay.
Because you can't. Too often we want to fix when we don't know.
That's true. That's true.
You gotta
That's
analyze it and figure out. Because if not, we assume a lot.
That's right.
That's not even part of the reason.
Ah.
So if you
Okay.
have something like that, just simply, hey, I just want to have a dialogue.
Okay. Okay.
I'm working and I'm working here in the school system. I need a dialogue.
Okay.
Are you
Okay.
willing to just come and have a dialogue with me?
Yes.
You get me?
I accept that charge. I definitely accept that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend, I'm going to put it out here today and you'll see more information. I accept that charge. I want to have an open conversation, just a meeting with parents. I'm going to open up. If you don't feel comfortable going to the school at first, we can meet outside of the school. We'll find a location. We will definitely have that avenue open. I want to talk to you parents. I want to talk to grandparents. I want to talk to the aunties, whoever has an impact in these children's lives. I want to make sure that there is someone that we can rally together and we can bridge this gap. Our children need us. The teachers need us. I accept that charge. Thank you for challenging me to do just that. And
because I can see your passion.
yes,
I
thank
can
you.
see your passion of wanting to get that relationship started.
Yes.
Because you know that the better partnership is, the better the child is going to be successful.
Yes, yes.
And by the way, when they get to high school and middle school, parents, stop wiping your hands off of your child.
Stick
That's when
with
they
'em.
need you the most.
Stick with 'em.
Even though they think that they're grown, they really do. But you have to figure that out. Is how do you? I say balance it.
Yes.
You got to give them some of it,
Yes.
but you can't give them all of it.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
so you
right.
have to know how to balance it. And you know your child maturity level. You know that. And by the way, if mama is working and daddy is working and that's an older sibling in the house that's 19, 20 years old.
That's available.
That's available.
That's right.
You
Send
come.
them.
You
The
are
village.
more,
It's the village.
It's the village to raise the child. And if there's a neighbor that lives down the street and
Yeah.
you're working and that neighbor has come to and talk about your child and got good grades and that child really respects the neighbor and they got a very good relationship. You just got to give them rights to receive grades and talk about that. But we're just talking about a dialogue here now.
Exactly.
We're talking about a conversation.
Yes.
Because once you get the data that you need, or at least something, because right now we're guessing.
Exactly.
Why you not there? You guessing.
You're guessing.
But you can
in the
find
blind.
out.
In the
blind guessing, and that's the worst thing that we could do.
Listen, I've been looking at her shirt. Let me just say this. I always y'all see my shirt, but let me just tell you, not your average educator. This is not your average educator. She is still teaching from age 70, 40 plus years, 7, to 40 years later, she's still teaching us. I'm learning here today. I am still the student over here. And as you continue to tap into those avenues and you make those charges, I just want to thank you for being open to having that dialogue. I know that you are doing other projects now. You have, other ministries that you're working on and you're in other areas, but you haven't left education.
No, right now I'm the chairperson of Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools did not have an educational foundation.
Okay.
We have a lot of foundations in Winston-Salem that give money to the school district and all. So I got a call from the superintendent when I retired in a group to help start an educational foundation.
Oh, wonderful.
And so we started that a year ago in March.
Okay.
So next week we're giving out $15,000 teacher grants.
Wow.
$15,000 worth of teacher grant.
Okay.
We started an educational foundation
Oh,
in Winston-Salem,
wow.
that the teachers can apply for grants now
Okay.
coming directly to our education, because I believe in, I am a champion for
You
students
are.
and I'm a champion for educators. And by the way, I did not buy this shirt. This shirt was given to me,
But
and
it
it was
fits
one
you.
of the best gifts, because that made that they saw that I
Yeah.
am not just your
You're
regular
not your
educator.
average
You have
educator.
to think outside the box.
Yes.
You have to do the things that meet the needs. You have to analyze your situation or where you are, and then you figure out how to fix it or how to make it work.
Listen, we didn't go down the long list of accolades, the long list of credentials, the long list of all the things that you've accomplished, but you model all of that in every encounter.
Thank you.
Every time I ever been in your presence, I walked away with knowledge. Every time I ever been in your presence, I walked away with discipline. She can command that room. I was in the church when she did a presentation, and she said, stop everybody." I'm sitting there like I gotta get quiet too. I was talking. I say that because that's the type of person you are. You command the room. And I just want to make sure that you know that I appreciate you. And this conversation today, I know it's helping me, but I hope it helped you too. Because without pioneers like Dr. Carol Montague Davis, we are not going to move forward. But I accept the charge. And then I'm going to then turn around and charge all the parents out there that's listening, whether you're in elementary, middle, high school, early college, it doesn't matter. Reach out to me if you would like to have this dialogue, or if you know somebody who would like to have the dialogue. I'm open to it. Everybody out there, y'all know that I will have a conversation. This great woman right here, I can only say that without educators like you, and you named several people earlier that has poured into Warren County's educational system, they're still out here rooting for our children today.
Yeah, they're on the board.
They're on the board. Yes.
I think of Miss Lambert. I think of Joyce Long.
Yes.
I think of Ebony.
Yes.
They're on the board.
Yes.
Miss Scott served for a
Oh
long
my gosh,
time.
I had the pleasure of being in her company last weekend.
She
Study
educating people. Yes.
Yes.
And Al Cooper, who's now running for
county commissioner. Study educating.
Constantly. But I want to leave it. Is
No.
it almost time to end? Yeah,
we're gonna wrap it up, because I want to take some of the information. I got to put it to work, because when you come back, I got to report back out. Okay?
That's right.
So there will be a part 2. I told you. Listen, y'all. So as we wrap this up, I know you were about to say something. I want to give you the floor to say just that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the people, whatever you want to say. But I'm gonna say this. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for always keeping me in my.
You have a lovely daughter. I just love her. She's my girl.
Well, thank you, my faithful assistant, always on duty.
I just want to say, these are my parting words. Teach your child to love themselves, and you have to love yourself and show that love within your family. Don't let anyone in any kind of way define who your child is, and he leave home thinking, or that she got to find out who she is from someone else.
Exactly.
So teach your child to love them. Affirmations in the morning. When they walk out the door, just say, "You're beautiful." You're going to learn all you can do. You just find some affirmations for that child before they walk out that door. And if they leave that house feeling on top of the world and I'm worthy, they're going to have the best day ever.
Right.
So just teach them to love themselves. Give them affirmation, and do the same for yourself. And education is where we need to be. If you're in there, sticking there, parents, just keep driving and making sure that you want better for your child than what you did for yourself.
There's nothing else for me to say. I've got homework to do. Listen, guys, be the advocate for your child. Be the advocate for yourself for your child. We need each other. Let's partner. Dr. Monica Davis, I appreciate you for joining.
You for inviting me.
I have just had a wonderful conversation with this right here is a legend. And I don't know when we're going to do our part 2, but we are going to have a part 2. I'm going to invite Connie to come to part 2. We're going to deal with this thing, okay? We're going to deal with it, okay? We're going to deal with it.
We're going to deal with this thing. But I really appreciate it. And thank you for working with me.
Oh, listen. Not only have I been in your presence, but You know, I'm in the family, y'all, and I put myself in people's families because they make me feel like family. And so I just want to say that I love you, I love you, I love you. And here at Riddick Events, this is one of the things I want people to remember. Always know that you can come talk to us before you talk yourself out of your next event. And if that event is going to that school and advocating for your child, call me. 919-805-8309. Have a good night.